Let me hit you with something no one else is saying, but every man needs to hear. There's a reason your confidence fades the moment she pulls away. It's not because she stopped feeling something, it's because you never touched that part of her. The most intense and wild desire every woman has, but was taught to hide, isn't about flowers, compliments, or emotional support. It's about what she craves deep in her core, yet fears being judged for. And if you don't know how to recognize it, let alone activate it, you'll always feel like something's missing. What we're unpacking here isn't just another theory. It's a real psychological shift, one that separates the man she dates from the man she obsesses over. If you can't spot the hidden signals, understand the desire dynamics, and master the psychological game behind it, she'll chase that feeling somewhere else. Women won't say it outright, but they can't help feeling it, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Most men think women want security, romance, or a good listener. And sure, those things help, but there's something deeper, something primal that she craves, and it's not what she'll ever admit out loud. It lives in her body, in her silence, in her late-night overthinking. It's the kind of dark desire she's afraid to even admit to herself. Understanding this isn't about manipulation. It's about waking up to the hidden signals that are already there. She won't say it, she'll avoid it, and she might even shame other women who want it too much. But deep inside, she wants to surrender to a man who carries alpha energy, who operates from emotional mastery, who moves through life with boldness, not just a guy who's nice or reliable. A man who sees beyond what she says and into what she fears admitting. Once you start to see it, you'll never look at a woman the same way again. Picture this: you're in a room with her. She's laughing, but her eyes are scanning you. Her body leans in, but her words say, "I'm not like that." That's the tension. That's where desire dynamics come into play. She's testing if you see her mask or what's behind it. If you respond with fear or uncertainty, the energy dies. But if you stand firm in your masculine frame, she feels it, and she feels herself in a new way. This isn't about surface-level dominance. It's about embodying a masculine mindset that doesn't flinch when things get uncomfortable. When a woman senses that you won't crumble when she pushes boundaries, that's when she starts revealing the parts she hides. That's when the power shift happens. Most men fail here. They listen to what she says she wants and completely miss what her behavior is screaming. They ignore the subtle patterns in her body language, the micro-delays, the indecisive texts. They respond with logic to something that operates on instinct. You can't logic your way into repressed attraction. You have to feel it, spot it, and hold space for it. This desire isn't evil, dirty, or wrong. It's natural, ancient, and the very reason seduction truths have been passed down through generations in silence. Modern culture told women to suppress it, to stay nice, to chase careers over connection. But repression doesn't erase desire, it buries it. And buried things don't die, they mutate, test, and scream through confusion, distance, or resentment. Every woman has this desire, some louder, some quieter, but all were conditioned to bury it. She wants you to awaken it, just not in a desperate or needy way. She needs to feel that you're purpose-driven, that your life isn't swayed by her approval. That's authentic masculinity. Not the fake alpha image, but the grounded presence that pulls her in without chasing. When she meets a man grounded in emotional control, something inside her shifts, not because he says the right words, but because his energy doesn't flinch when she tests him. She senses his world won't crumble if she withdraws. That's rare. That's magnetic. That activates a side of her that's been dormant, waiting. She's not testing you to reject you, she's testing you to feel you, to see if your inner strength can hold her forbidden cravings without judgment. And those cravings are never about comfort, they're about surrendering to a man who's unshakable, who doesn't need validation to stand tall. So many good men fail because they take her resistance personally, but her resistance is an invitation. Think back to moments where a woman suddenly lost interest after everything seemed perfect. You were attentive, respectful, emotionally available, but something faded. It wasn't about what you did wrong, it was about what you didn't see. You missed the sexual tension she was craving, offering safety when she wanted risk. Masculine presence must be felt before it is understood. She's not mentally analyzing your words, she's sensing how you carry yourself, how you walk into a room, how you breathe when she gets emotional. Masculine frame isn't a concept, it's a presence. A man can wear a suit and say the right things, but if he flinches when she leans into her edge, she'll retreat. She needs to feel your dominance, not in volume, but in depth. You access it by being grounded, listening without trying to fix, holding eye contact without needing reassurance, and speaking from the gut. That's psychological game. Not manipulation, but recognition. Inside every woman is a part that wants to be seen fully, but only by a man strong enough to hold it. She'll never ask for this directly. She may criticize it publicly, but in private, she'll surrender if it's real, embodied, and earned. This is where boldness meets grace, confidence becomes safety, and leadership doesn't look like control but like calm direction. She doesn't want chaos. She wants to relax into someone whose alpha energy makes her feel safe enough to let go. Modern men are trained to be soft, agreeable, and addicted to approval. That's performance, not connection. What creates real connection is emotional mastery, the ability to feel without reacting, to stay rooted when she spirals, and to not take her chaos personally. Stop trying to control her feelings and start controlling your presence. That's how you give her the freedom to feel everything. You can't fake this. You can't memorize lines or mimic alpha behaviors. What activates her repressed attraction is a man who's done the inner work, alive and grounded, not needy or performative. That's why women light up around certain men without knowing why. It's male polarity, the energetic contrast between her storm and your mountain. Women get bored in perfect relationships because perfection doesn't create gravity. Sexual tension does, and it comes from a man who doesn't apologize for who he is, who leads without force, who listens without weakness, who says no with love. Once you understand this, you stop chasing attention and start becoming the man women are magnetically pulled to without a word. Imagine her in your presence, feeling her femininity returning, not because of clever words, but because your masculine frame invited it out. She softens. Her voice slows. Her breathing deepens. That's her nervous system relaxing around a man who holds her emotional chaos like it's sacred. These subtle cues, how she touches her hair, how long she holds eye contact, how her energy shifts after a tease, reveal when she's present, resisting, or aching to let go. Mastering this isn't about reading books. It's about staying grounded enough to notice what others miss. Women don't want perfection. They want depth, contrast, the power shift from performer to protector, pleaser to leader. True dominance isn't ego or intimidation. It's internal stillness. When she throws emotional waves at you, do you absorb them or get swept away? That's the test where her dark desire surfaces quietly and powerfully. Ever met a woman who seemed too emotional, unpredictable, or intense? That wasn't brokenness. It was forbidden cravings bubbling under the surface. And when a man doesn't know how to meet her there, she's labeled dramatic. She wants to feel your spine emotionally, to know you won't collapse under pressure, that your sense of self doesn't depend on her mood. When you show groundedness, her shields drop, her feminine opens, and she leans in, breathing easier. Take Tyler, 34, smart, fit, decent job, always friend-zoned after good dates. He thought he was doing everything right, respectful, available, emotionally honest, but women kept ghosting him. After working with a mentor, he stopped over-explaining and performing, and started listening from his body. Within weeks, everything shifted. Women began leaning in, chasing him. His shift wasn't magic, it was alignment. He stopped acting like the man he thought women wanted and became the man he respected. That's boldness. That's what awakens the part of her that's been asleep. The safer and more grounded you are, the more intense her desire becomes, not because you're a doormat, but because you mirror her. When you let masculine energy flow naturally without performing, it triggers something ancient in her, something she can't rationalize, only feel. There's no script, it's embodied awareness. Your attention should be on who you're being, not what to say. Are you chasing validation or moving from purpose-driven alignment? Are you leading interactions or following her emotions? This is the psychological game. Logic doesn't reach her soul, emotional control does. Not suppression, but the ability to feel without losing control. That creates the safety for her to explore her dark desire without shame. The deeper her desire, the more shame she feels, not brokenness, but societal conditioning. When she meets a man who feels her without flinching, her body remembers something ancient, sacred. Your ability to hold space is more powerful than anything you could say. Once she senses that you see her without fixing her, layers begin to reveal themselves. That's emotional mastery, For you. You stop chasing reactions and needing to be chosen. You become the chooser, leading with silence, breath, and presence. Conversations deepen, tension grows, attraction stops being performance and becomes an unspoken current. So, how do you build this? Face your emotional reactions without numbing. Practice breath work. Read books like The Way of the Superior Man or No More Mr. Nice Guy. Take cold showers for discipline, meditate, and learn to observe without reacting. These aren't trends, they're foundations. She feels it and responds with vulnerability to your stability. Don't rush this. It's a return to male polarity, reclaiming what's been numbed by comfort, porn, weakness, and lies. The world doesn't need more men acting tough. It needs men who can be still when the feminine storms, love without begging, lead without pushing. That's your anchor, your edge, and that's what awakens her forbidden cravings. When you show up this way, everything changes. Conversations deepen. Tension grows naturally. Attraction becomes an unspoken current. Women begin showing parts of themselves you didn't know existed, not because you cracked a code, but because you became the mirror they were unconsciously searching for. This is where seduction truths live, in your presence, silence, and depth, not in your words. Now that you see what she's really craving, the question is, what are you going to do with that power? Step up, level up, and embody the man she can't help but feel drawn to. Once you understand her dark desire, it's on you to lead, stay grounded, stop performing, and start becoming.